Hi guys, you're welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Nancy Abela. On this channel I film about faith, relationship, lifestyle, motherhood and every other good stuff. If you're new here, hey hi. If you're a returning subscriber, thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you for all the things you are doing thus far. Thank you for the love and the encouragement you are showing to me thus far. I do not take it for granted. I really appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. Alright, so today I was just going through my books. I brought out a book to read and I was just going through it. And in the middle of that book, I saw pieces of papers where I wrote down questions that I asked my husband whilst we were dating. As at the time, sometimes I used to write down those questions so I don't forget when we're discussing in the evening. So I opened it and saw those questions. So the questions I'll be reading out today are questions I asked my husband while we're dating. These are not all the questions. The reason I wrote down some of these questions is because sometimes when we're discussing in the evening, because we always have our discussions, our long discussions in the evening. In case you don't know, it was a long distance relationship. We stayed in two different cities. So we always talk on the phone, we always discuss extensively on the phone. So when we're discussing and I'll ask some questions and I'll forget to ask some. Even when I remember to ask some, like maybe during the day, I remember that, oh, these are questions I was supposed to ask. Then I'll keep in mind that when we talk in the evening, I will discuss this question, I'll ask him this question. Not like we don't talk during the day, but in the evening is the main time for discussion. So I'll write down those questions so that I don't forget. And anytime I remember during the day, whether during the day or anytime at work, is either I write it down in a piece of paper where I used to write it down, or I note it down on my phone. So the questions I found that they are in the piece of paper. So I'll be reading out to you guys today. All right. If you're in a relationship and you're in a serious relationship, when you guys have already concluded that okay, you're going to settle down with each other, I think some of these questions might be helpful to you. So you might want to stay and watch till the end. At the end of this video, if you find it interesting, if you find it helpful, please leave me a comment, give me a thumbs up, and feel free to share or invite someone to watch and learn as well. So without further ado, guys, let's jump right in. Number one question is, what are the qualities you want in a woman? What are the qualities you always look out for in a woman? Do I fit into those qualities that you're looking out for in a woman? What do you think is the role of a woman in a relationship or in marriage? In fact, in marriage, what do you think is the role of a woman in marriage? This question is really helpful. I asked this question for a reason. And trust me, today that question is helping us because we talked about it, we discussed it. The reason you ask question in relationship is for you to know the person you're getting married to, the mindset of the person you're getting married to. You're not marrying the physical appearance, you're not marrying the fine face and everything. Yes, those ones are important, but the most important thing is the personality, the mindset of the person you're getting married to. If the both of you don't align, your mindset don't align, trust me, you're going to have chaos, or you're going to have some fracas, some level of misunderstanding in that marriage. Okay, the time for courtship and dating is not the time to extort or exploit each other's pocket, nor the time to explore each other's body. It's actually a time to talk about things, ask questions, know the person you're getting married to, the person you're in a relationship with, know that person. Things you don't understand, ask questions. If you followed me on this channel long enough, you'll know that I ask questions a lot. The last video I did with my husband, you heard me emphasize on the fact that I always ask questions. I don't like to assume anything I don't understand. I ask questions. So right from the time of dating up until now, I've not even stopped asking. I still ask. Yes, you're not going to ask you might not remember to ask all the questions in the relationship, but then there are some important things that you should not even ignore, you should not even overlook. Ask questions. Ask questions. These questions are very important. Okay, now I asked, what are the role of a woman in a relationship or in marriage? And then he answered me. I understood. I I took those things to heart. They were very important to me, because if I don't understand, if I come to your house and if I eventually get married to you and then move into your house and we start having problems because we didn't discuss all these things, it's going to be somehow, because this marriage thing is a very long journey. The years I'm spending with you is more than the years I've spent alone. So all these things has to be put in place. Do you believe in celibacy before marriage? This is very important. Do you believe in celibacy before marriage? If yes, why? I asked my husband this question, and then I asked him, so why do you believe in celibacy before marriage? I'm asking why because I want to know his mindset, so that it doesn't say, oh yes, I believe in celibacy before marriage because that is what I wanted to hear. I wanted to be sure that this person knows what he's talking about. Why do you believe in celibacy before marriage? Do you believe in celibacy before marriage because it is against the will of God, or because it just why? Is it because people said it is, or because you know it is wrong to do the do before marriage? So I wanted to be sure that he knows what he's talking about. And then I discussed everything when it comes to bedmatics. When I say bedmatics, if you follow me long enough, you know bedmatics I refer to as sex. I don't want to be using the word, I don't know if YouTube will flag down my video if I use that. So just know that bedmatics is referring to that. So I asked him, what do you look out for when it comes to bedmatics? How long have you stayed without doing the do? I didn't say how long can you stay without doing the do. How long have you stayed? So I wanted to be sure that this person has stayed long enough without doing the do, so I can now conclude that okay, this person can hold himself. Because if I say how long can you stay without doing the do, he can give me any time, right? So yeah. Another question I asked again was, what is your sexual appetite? How long do you think you would be wanting doing the do? Are you an addict? There are some guys who are addict every day. That's like every day, every day, every day they want it. Sorry, I'm not. I don't have that strength. Sorry to say, I'm not here to cast myself. But then I wanted to be sure that okay, we're on the same page when it comes to this. It's not a time for you to come and now start telling me that, oh, you want it every minute, every seconds, and then I cannot meet up and it will not be a problem in marriage. I wanted to be sure that okay, yes, somebody I can, even though I cannot match up with your energy 100, but at least I should be able to match up with your energy to some extent. If you are the person that is, wild about it, well, I don't know if I can match up with that energy. So I asked that question to be sure that okay, I can match up with your energy. How often do you think you will be wanting it? Are you the type that will be wanting it every second, like every time we are having a discussion, every time I'm sitting close to you, you want it? Is that the kind of person you are? I asked to know. I asked again, do you touch yourself? I mean, do you masturbate? It is very important. These questions are very key, very important. Know the person you're getting married to, so that when you're not around, he will not start committing sin with his body and start touching himself. Do you touch yourself? Do you believe in sex toys? Because I never see myself asking these questions because I felt it was not necessary. But not until I heard somebody talked about it. I had a friend, or rather some friends, who went somewhere one day and then were coming back in groups, and this discussion popped up. They were talking about it and I was looking like the odd one out. Some one of them said that he likes the toys, like it is fun, it is adventurous. When you're doing that, your partner will be watching you. That is so, they were talking about it, and it looked like I had some kind of obsolete mental programming, like my I'm archaic in my thinking. I'm like, why are we talking about this? Why are we having this discussion now? It is not, it looked like I didn't know what I was talking about, like I'm the olden days person. So I had to ask him, do you believe in toys? Do you believe in, and then Thank God, thankfully. I asked again, are you familiar with the woman body? Like, are you familiar with the woman body? Do you know where to, Yes, I had the luxury of privilege to ask him these questions because we're miles away from each other. So we're not in the same house, we're not in the same room, we're not in the same bed discussing this. I can't discuss this discussion when we're on the same bed because I don't want to arouse what is lying down on its own. So I had the opportunity to ask these questions because of the distance and all that. So are you familiar with the woman body? You can ask, if yes, you can ask your partner, the person you're settling down with, ask them these questions. Are you familiar with the woman body? So when we are in the act and you climax before me, what would you do? How would you handle it? How would you, stuffs like that. And then I asked again, have you been molested before? I needed to know because sometimes this thing comes with some level of trauma and all those things. Have you been molested before? Let's talk about it if you have. If you haven't, fine, fantastic. And all that. I asked a lot of questions. What kind of a father do you want to be to your children? What kind of a father do you see yourself? Do you like the idea of having house helps? What's your what's your take on having house helps in the house, like nannies, domestic staffs actually? What's your idea of having domestic staffs in the house, especially house helps? What would you do if we struggle to get pregnant and have kids? What would you do at that point when it looks like, this thing is not forthcoming? How would you handle it? Are you the type that will run to, you know, anywhere just to have this, just to have children? Are you the type that will take any option at all to have kids? It doesn't matter so long as, you're having children. It doesn't matter what the option is, even if it is against the will of God. What would you do if we struggle to have kids? How would you handle it? What will you do? This is another question. What will you do if I get the kind of job that makes me close later than you? Like I close late in the evenings or into the night, and then you get home before me. What would you do? How would you handle the kids? How would you take care of the house? Those are questions that, should be asked. How would you handle it? Is it the kind of person that will say, okay, I don't want you to do this job again? Or the type of person that will say, okay, don't worry, you go ahead and do your thing. I will take care of the house when I get home. Or are you the type that will say, I must not eat stale food? This particular thing made me to withdraw from someone, we're getting somehow close, that's me. I will always ask you questions. So in that talking stage, we're still in the talking stage, and then he goes, me, I don't eat stale food. I cannot eat stale food. I'm a traditional man. I don't go into the kitchen. I cannot cook for my woman. I cannot do this. I cannot bathe my children. That's the work of a woman. That's the work of, the wife of the house. I listened to him talk. I knew that, oh, Nancy, you can't deal. I just can't deal with it. How can you tell me you can't eat stale food? You can't eat food that is in the freezer for 2 days. You can't. It has to be freshly made every day. Who does that? I don't have that kind of a strength. I don't have that kind of strength. So, in order not to put myself in a tight corner in problems, I withdrew because I cannot come and be arguing. You have told me already what you're expecting. You've told me your expectations already, that I have to be cooking food for you every day. So it is now left for me to choose whether I can do it or not. I had to withdraw. Thank God it was still in the talking stage. We've not even started, we're just getting to know each other. I didn't go beyond that because of course. And I asked him, okay, what if when a situation where he said there is no situation that will make him to eat stale food, to eat food that lasted till the next day. So it has to be freshly made, whether in the freezer, whether outside the freezer, so long as it was food that was made the previous day. He cannot. So I had problems with that. I had to. Yeah, somebody that he cannot do the work of a woman. You can't even help to sweep the house, wash the plates, do anything. He just told me the things I can do, and I didn't find it comfortable. I have to take a bow. I move. And that's why asking questions is very important. If I hadn't asked the question and I just assume and move into the marriage, at the end of the day, we would have problems on problems upon problems, because there are so many things we didn't talk about. If you notice, the rate of divorce is getting higher and higher every day. Check the problems that is causing divorce. Very minute problems causing divorce in marriages. There are some things that you're supposed to talk about that you didn't talk about. You just assumed, and then when it start playing out, you're now having problems. It shouldn't be. There's another very important question that I asked my husband then. Are you owing anybody? I need to know if you're owing anybody, so that, and if you're owing anybody, how much? I don't like the idea of people having this loan app on their phone. I told my husband then, my fiance then, if you're having any loan app on your phone, Biko, delete it. Spend within your means for now. Don't go and be overspending, that you now put yourself in tight corner and you start having loans and loans upon loans to settle. I asked him, are you owing anybody? Ask this question, very important. Are you owing anybody? Not when you now get married eventually and then you are paying debt. You are now joining to pay debt that was incurred when you are not in the picture. Debt that you didn't know what it was spent on. Ask questions. Are you owing anybody? I asked him again, what is the most that you can spend on car or furnitures? I wanted to know if he's a spendthrift or he's somebody that can manage money. What is the most you can spend on cars and furnitures? He answered me. How much is too much to spend on wedding ceremony? Sorry guys, my boss just woke up and I needed to attend to her. So where were we? Yeah. What is the most that you can spend on wedding? I still wanted to know his mindset towards money. I wanted to know if he's the type that lavishes money or the type that saves. We talked about money, we talked about savings, we talked about all of those things. We discussed it. I think some were quite personal. We discussed some things in terms of money. And I wanted to be sure that, okay, this person is not a waster. He does not waste money and all that. Are you prudent with money? Some persons say, money is nothing. When it comes, you spend it. When it finishes, you know that it has finished. When you have, you spend it and know that is that the kind of person you are or not? I asked those questions. I wanted to be sure. I cannot come and be fighting and be, arguing something in marriage and start arranging what was not arranged before and start putting mindset that were never there before. I will not come into marriage to come and start teaching you how to manage money. Like I always tell people, marriage is not a rehabilitation center. What you did not learn before, you will not come into marriage and change. Marriage will not change you. Right? Marriage does not change people. I wanted to be sure his attitude towards money. That was why I asked those questions. I also asked him, how would you deal with me, or how would you deal with the idea of me taking some decisions or doing some stuff without informing you or without telling you first? How would you deal with it? How do you see it? How do you see us from now, or right in the next 10 years? How do you see us? Where do you see us? I also asked him, how long do you intend to keep me? I intentionally asked that particular question, rather. How long do you intend to keep me? And then it's like, keep you how? Yes, how long do you intend to keep us together? I was really impressed with the question, even though it was very highly diplomatic in his response. My husband is a very diplomatic man. How long? Yes, he's diplomatic and sincere. Very sincere. And I like that for him. And I like it for myself too. How long do you intend to keep me? Where do you see us in the next 10 years? Discuss every little thing. How good are you in keeping secrets? Some persons will tell you, no, me, wants to tell me anything. Me, I don't know how to keep secret. I will say it. I will go and ask the person. I will go and... How good are you in keeping secrets? Are you the type of person that will tell something? There are some things in marriage that you're not even supposed to discuss. You can hear her voice. There are some things in marriage that you're not even supposed to discuss. Imagine you having a discussion with your spouse, and then you are reminding them that they are not supposed to tell people. You go like, and this thing I'm telling you, I don't want you to tell this person. No, I don't want to hear it. We don't discuss it. I don't even talk about it, because I know by default this thing we are talking about is not leaving the walls of this home. It's not leaving the walls of this house. It's going to stick with us in this house. So I needed to be sure that, okay, my partner is not the type that I will be scared that when I tell you something, you now go about telling everybody, or telling the person you call your closest friend, your best friend, your paddy. I will not be scared that you go about and start telling them. I needed to be sure. Do you like PDAs? Not everybody do. I wanted to be sure that, okay, he likes PDAs or he doesn't like PDAs. So I don't go and start holding your hands in public and you feel embarrassed. Or I want to hug you in public and you're embarrassed and all that. PDAs, public display of affections. Do you like those? Can you peck me or hug me in when you know that people are watching, or when you know that, okay, somebody might be seeing us? Can you hug me? Can you peck me? Some women like that. I think I do to some extent, hold my hand in public, peck me in public. Can you do those? Can you? I needed to be sure. Not somebody that will now be forcing to hold my hand. I remember, I don't want to talk about this, not somebody that will now be begging to hold my hand in public, or will now be fighting over it. We need to discuss it so that we can be on the same page. Can you call me pet names or tell me you love me when either of our parents are there, when my parents are there, or when your parents are there? Can you still call me pet names, or can you still tell me you love me when they are around? Do I make you happy? Like, do I make you happy? Do you think about me and smile afterwards? Like, you think about someone you love and you smile. Do I make you happy? I know for the most part, some persons are going to say yes, even though you don't. Even though you still don't make them happy, they will still tell you yes. But it asks, does it mean anything to you anytime I tell you I love you? Or you just see it as normal slangs or normal sentence, I love you? Or does it mean anything to you? Does it touch you in your mind when I say that to you? Should there be boundaries in marriage? Should there be privacy in marriage? This particular question is going to be a topic. We're supposed to have filmed a video on this particular topic. My husband and I were going to film a video on it. I don't know which is coming up first, whether this or that video, but whichever way, this particular question is a whole video. Should there be privacy in marriages? Should there be boundaries in marriage? What do you think, or what do you see as privacies or boundaries in marriages? If you are to describe me to your friends, how would you describe me to your friends? The day my husband answered me that question, I'm like, ooh. It looks like I won a trophy. I asked him those questions. If you had to describe me to your friends, how would you describe me to your friends? And then he gave me the answer that, my God, the answer was very proteinous, if that makes sense. I asked him again, if you are to follow me blindly, if I ask you to follow me blindly, would you follow me blindly? Another one is, how much do you trust me? How well do you trust me with your heart, with yourself? How well do you trust me to entrust your heart in my hands? How well do you trust me? Another question is, what is that one rule, or what are those rules? Better still, what is that one rule that can never be broken, or that cannot be broken? And then lastly, who should pay the bills in marriage? Who should pay the bills in marriage? This is another video on its own. Okay, this is the video that I was supposed to make with my husband, not the other one. I was supposed to make it alone. I should have, By the time you are seeing this video, I probably have filmed that video. I don't know. But you see this, who should pay the bills in marriage? We're going to discuss it, my husband and I. And I'm very thankful. I'm so thankful that we had that discussion while we're dating. It is very important. Money in marriage, finances in marriage is a very huge part in that marriage. It's a very, very important thing to discuss. Discuss it and don't assume. Don't assume that let me not sell out the video that we are going to make, right? Discuss it. Who should pay the bills in marriage? All right, guys, I think I've come to the end of this particular video. If you find this video interesting and helpful, please leave me a thumbs up. Leave me a thumbs up and comment down below some of those questions that you think that should be asked that are not part of this question that I just listed. Note, this question, some of these questions, you can still ask your spouse, your married spouse. Like, you can ask your wife or your husband this question. It looks like I am being biased with the question because it was a one-sided thing from a woman to a man. That's because I was the one that asked. These are questions that I asked my husband. Some of the questions that I asked my husband. I can't remember all the questions per se. All right, I need to go attend to my baby. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching. I'm sure you would consider subscribing before leaving. Thank you so much for doing that, and thank you for watching up until this moment. I'll see you in the next one. Until then, stay blessed, stay fabulous, and stay fantastic. I love you, and I love you again. Bye. Cool down.